Ah, dang it. Come on again.
What are you doing?
No, nothing.
We're back. We're back.
Oh, hey guys. Hey.
Hi.
Let me close out Trackmania. I totally wasn't looking at the new trial map that just came out. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Speaking of trial, there is, of course, the trial section. Check it out as we are looking at the new trial map that everyone can compete in, including you, stranger, that is watching us. Yeah, we can play the trial maps. Is available now in the TM Games Club. And thank you to Roquette for making an amazing map. It is... I'm still on checkpoint 1. So, yeah. Anyway, we...
That map is beautiful. Can we just say that? That is gorgeous. I mean,
it's a beautiful map.
Just go in there for the experience alone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a beautiful map. It is a difficult map. It's trial, okay? So you need the best of the best to be able to compete in this. And then not only do you need to be able to complete the map, but you need to be in the top 32 best positions on the leaderboard to be able to get points for your country. Again, anyone can do it. So just, make sure you are not fake flagging. Make sure you are on the correct flag. Get in that top 32 times, and you can score some points for your team. Speaking of scoring points for the team, we still have a few matches left on stream for you today, and we are going back into another match in the full speed. We're going into the lower bracket this time. We're going to be checking out the quarterfinal lower bracket. Number 1, Orion. We got 4 names that we need to speak about, and none of them are from Great Britain.
Nope. The match that we are going to be focusing on contains the players Sully of Ireland. I think that's Ireland. Please don't tell me that's an Ivory Coast flag. I've made this mistake already.
Nope, it's Ireland.
You're good.
Okay, ideal. Mudder of Australia. We're going to be following his progress. Erikish of Norway and Luke Fast of Italy. So we have 2 continents featured, 4 countries. Who are people going for here? I guess I'll come to you first, Pyro.
Sure. I've been speaking Sully's name since the beginning, since the seeding round. I like the consistency that we saw out of them. Got to see a very close look out of their performance with Wrist and trying to keep up with Wrist, but we're talking about one of the top players over there. So I like Sully's chances. Mutta had that kind of disappointing performance that we spoke of. Of course, maybe not per expectation, as they're handling a lot of different formats, but a chance here to get kind of that momentum back after being in such a difficult group for Mutta. Now in the lower bracket, we've seen those streaks in the lowers, so this is where one of those great streaks to the lower finals could begin.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, Legion, during the green screen, during the break, we did talk about a few of these players that could potentially run away with this one. But this match, I don't want to call it stacked, but it could be a very tight match. We got some pretty big names in this one.
Yeah, I talk about Mutta being like the full speed guy, but obviously he's been doing a bunch of other stuff. And as we talked about, he's kind of spreading himself over a lot of other things. I do have to give maybe an edge to Sully. I think he's got a chance to go through. That second spot, though, see, that's where you kind of get me, because I want to say Erikish. I really, really do. But I think this might be the matchup for Mutta. But if I had to give it to somebody, I might have to go Erikish as well. I think it's Sully and Erikish that go forward.
Yeah, no, I would say those are pretty good contenders to pick, especially because, again, we know Mutta has been training across some multiple disciplines, so it's a little bit harder for him to be able to be fully trained on some pretty crazy hard full speed maps. Again, we're showing multiple talents, multiple disciplines, and Mutta is showing that he can continuously compete, but not at the top level that he probably would be happy with or what we expect him to do. I would have to go personally with, I want to go for a little bit of an upset. I want Luke Fast to make it through. I think Luke can definitely put some pressure down, and Sully. Yeah, I'm going to go one safe, one a little bit risky. And Orion, I would love to know who you think are as we also pass you on to the game.
I think I'm going to lock in Sully as well. Had the best seeding position out of the 4 of them, coming from the upper bracket. I feel like Erikish could take this over Mudder, who just doesn't seem to be that trained. I'm expecting Mudder to be consistent, but not necessarily that fast. And so if Erikish can keep it consistent and, continuously, or continually, I should say, drive faster than Mudder, then I can see that as a path to making it through to that next round. Luke Fast, bit of an unknown, not sure, but could be a dark horse, could surprise us.
Yeah, definitely agree. Well, Orion, it's time for you and Pyro to cast away, and good luck keeping up with everyone flying around in all the loop-de-loops.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Randomize, and let's get into it. It's our first elimination match to stay in the lower bracket to, well, not so much. The road will end here. It's been great to see them get to the top 32 and see where else they can go, Orion. But in this situation, it is going to be what we're expecting to be a barn burner. I think even with the panel all choosing Sully as like maybe a safe pick to make it first, it could even not be the case. So I think this is going to be a very exciting one to watch.
Yep, 100%. We picked this match for a reason. We were unsure how it would stack up, but we are going to get our first look in here as we go on to round one in lowers round two. And starting off, we are going to have Sully in a slim lead, but all four players basically separated by less than a tenth as we go through these first couple of turns. No mistake yet. This map was probably the most crash prone in the previous rounds. Maybe that kind of identifies it as the most difficult in the pool, but still halfway through, Pyro, and no player making a mistake, and it is Sully and Mudder up the front.
Yeah, we expected to see Mudder with some consistency, but would they be the quickest? The answer may just about be yes, as the finishing turn is coming up. Has that lead that's extending past the rest, and there it is. Mudder begins in first with, hey, take a look at that, a 57, just barely.
Yeah, and a tie for second and third, but because of the penultimate checkpoint there, it was actually Luke Fast that took it. So crazy finish there. Erikish, the Norwegian, bringing it home in fourth, but really wasn't too far behind. So plenty more of that, please. All four players driving a great round there. And it could have been anyone's. Just one transition or one perfect speed slide can be the difference maker in full speed, because that speed just continues to snowball and snowball as you get to the finish line. You can overtake, even if the gap in front is about 2/10. If you're able to gain even 5 to 10 speed over your opponents, you can just get that gap down and get the overtake done, as we're seeing Mudder challenge once again for first place. Great drop off the transition. Luke Fast seems like he has the gap under control at the moment, but Mudder is trying his absolute best. Much wider setup on that SD there, and it doesn't seem like it's paid him any dividends. That was a bit of a bump there from Luke Fast. Has it cost him any speed? Doesn't look like it. Mudder much straighter down that transition there. Might be able to get the snipe done at the finish. A little bit slippery on that sausage block there. Cost him at the end, and it is the Italian that makes it into the finish in first place.
But again, you've got that 1/10 of a second difference between first and second. I think the fact that first race we saw racers competing at the same time down to 1,000th of a second, I'll give production their pat on the back here. We definitely chose one of the closest contests here in the lower bracket, as Mudder and Luke Fast will now be tied after 2 rounds. And Ryan, is there such thing? I know we share disciplines both in this title as well as Rocket League. Is there heavy car syndrome in Trackmania? Because I'm looking at Sully's very yellow and car body and wheels, and it just looks on the heavier side, just to me.
I'll admit I couldn't drive with that. Like that's too distracting for me. Like if you're a Rocket League player in the chat, I'm always rocking the Cristianos. I can't have a distracting car, distracting wheels, and my skin in Trackmania is very minimalist as well. So yep, the yellow banana, as I'm going to call it from now on, plummets into a wall there. I thought he went into a wall. It definitely looked like he should have crashed, but ultimately a slight mistake there is going to put him in fourth place. Mudder with another round win, and definitely performing above expectations, which sounds weird to say because, just looked like he didn't show up that much in the previous match, but here is looking as we'd expect, right?
I think this tells you the difference between the 8 best competitors in this competition and how they're separated amongst the rest. Because, yeah, Mutta in that upper quarterfinal only posting a 73, but here extending the lead at the beginning could be indicative of that change of talent you get from the top here down to the lower bracket, where still the competition is that good, but just comparing the best to the rest. Go ahead, Oran.
Yeah, I mean, if it's possible that Mutta could just be learning and improving the maps while playing
That's
the tournament.
true as well.
Like, if he hasn't had that much time, has just kind of done discovery runs and gone, I'll
He's
figure
gaining.
it out when it comes to it. He's gaining on Luke, but doesn't quite get the snipe. I think that's exactly what's happening, you know, Pyro. I think he's probably played like a couple of hours per map, but, you know, the more that he's playing, the more comfortable that he's getting as time goes on. It seems like he's kind of warming up into this bracket, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to call any early predictions because I've already fell victim to that, where someone does really well on the first map and then we see how the other two go. So it could very easily be a strength of his compared to the competition, and the others have those other two down pat. So we'll see as it goes. But yeah, I think there is the case to be made. Players, as they go through round of competition, being forced to perform their best with the competition at hand right now. Top 32 that was boiled down from 110. Could be optimizing as we go each round, which makes each round all the more exciting as we progress through the bracket around.
I'm happy we picked this match, though, because I picked Sully and Erikish, and currently Mutta and Luke are leading the match and have a 15-point cushion. So I'm glad we picked it. It's unpredictable. It's chaotic. It's full speed. And we are straight back into the next round. New map, 4 rounds played already, and we'll see if this particular map favors any of the players on the server in this match. As I said, Mutta currently leading the way on 32 points, closely followed by Luke, as we do see Mutta, the match leader, not make the transition there and is not going to be playing any further part in this round. And then on 15 points apiece is Sully and Erikish. Sully into a lead in this round, and Erikish just behind him. Luke Fast struggling to keep up in third.
No respawns, as you know, here in full speed, and quite a widths away are each player from the other. Sully has a fantastic lead on the others, and it doesn't appear that Erikish is gaining. That will be the finale. 54-1, close to that 53. Start things off here for Sully, who does find themselves 15 points behind second and thereabouts of first, but very likely on this map too, that gap will be closed.
Yeah, and the gaps can swing a lot more significantly than our other formats as well, because of that no respawn. If you DNF, you get nothing, whereas in Mixed and Tech, for example, even if you make a mistake that puts you 10 seconds behind, you're still getting 3 points for 4th place. So the maximum pain that a competitor is going to inflict is a 7-point swing. Here it's 10, because that DNF puts you out of the round entirely. So yeah, the point swings can be a lot more violent in full speed.
And it just calls on to, again, the pressure that these players are under. You make a mistake, and it might not just cost you a position. It may cost you the race. You're on full speed. You've got to maintain that high velocity, and that's exactly what Sully has done here from round 1 to round 2 on this map. Maintains the lead against Erikish and wins yet again. Pretty darn close to their last performance. They might just be locked into what is a first-place time.
Yeah, this looks like a much better map for Sully. Only had 15 points over 4 rounds on that first map, is already up to 35. So 20 points in 2 rounds, back-to-back victories. See if they can make it 3 in a row. Mutta's lead has now evaporated. It is Luke Fast, the Italian, in the lead on 37. Mutta a point behind on 36. Sully another point behind on 35. And Erikish, the Norwegian, bringing up the rear on 27, but the field is so close. It looks like Sully might have this map down to a T and might step into a lead in the match after we progress to our third and final map in the rotation. but we'll have to see how things play out. If full speed so far has taught me anything, Pyro, it's that anything can happen, and it probably will.
Oh, it may just. I mean, Mutta, it's hard to get a benchmark after we saw that first DNF here, and isn't quite losing sight of Sully on this round, though. As we'll see to it, Sully will be one track away from sweeping this map. When you consider how close the competition is here, and when you become that finalist, ready for qualification, the timing could work out pretty well for Sully. Maybe not to be that first quali, but I feel like it is that fifth map that ends up being the bread and butter for players to qualify. And for how good Sully looks on this track, that may be the right move. I say that, but we may have a different outcome here on the fourth round.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right with that. Like that this will be a map that we visit more than once, and you're probably right that we'll have a player on finalist. So if Sully continues this upwards trajectory, this could be where he seals the deal later and progresses through to that next round of the lower bracket. We have already eliminated 8 players after picking the top 32 from seeding. Here we say goodbye to another 8 and lock in our top 16, which obviously will be, getting those points for their respective countries. We still have the top 8 alive in the upper bracket with 2 lives, and Sully with a mistake at the end almost went perfect there. 4 rounds for 4, but goes flying off into the stadium. DNF from 10 points to 0 in the space of less than 100 meters or so. 4 rounds played, 8 rounds total, and that could have been a real turning point in the match there. Could have really staked his claim on first place.
Yeah, down 5 points from first place, whereas a first place would have guaranteed that position. But, you mentioned the banana mobile. It looked like he slipped on a banana peel at the very, very end of the race. As a Mario Kart fanatic, I know how that feels. But the work is already done. I mean, for such a nearly flawless map that was for Sully, breaking that 15-point gap into 5 going into map 3 means that this will be the barn burner that we expected. So, the storyline definitely fits for Sully, but keep an eye out for those last-second mistakes, because just when you think you know who's going to win that race, there's still something around that last bend.
Yeah, that would have been the match lead, but points as things stand, it is Luke Fast on 50, Mutta just behind on 48, Sully still within touching distance on 45, but then 10 points back is Erikish. So the Norwegian falling by the wayside despite actually winning his previous match, and arguably coming into this as the stronger of the 2 players from the lower bracket. It was Sully and Mutta that came from the upper bracket, but it is arguably the weakest player in this match, Luke Fast. And I said in the kind of preamble, could be a dark horse, could surprise us. That's exactly what's happening so far.
You did. You were the one to call it out for Luke Fast. I remember Randomized saying that's my upset pick, but you were giving some legitimacy to his claim. So with Luke Fast holding the lead, we'll see if it's truly maintained as we're in neck deep into round 1 of this third map. Luke Fast just trying to keep up with the pack right now. Mutta suffering a DNF on the last map's first round, hoping to paint over that reputation and start it off with a first place. Erikish being the one to challenge it, taking that wider turn here on the corkscrew and the narrow angle there. But Mutta, yes, it will be a first place to get things going. And with that 4th place finish out of Luke Fast, Mutta secures first place.
Yep. Clean round from all players, but Mutta does get that first place and extends his lead, or moves into a lead, I should say, over Luke as we go into round 2 here. Are you changing your mind, Pyro, at this time? Do you think, now that we've seen a good couple of rounds on every map, do you think... Are you sticking or are you twisting, Pyro, is what I'm asking you.
I'm a stubborn guy, Orion. I tend to stick to my guns if I can. But I think for my 1 pick of Sully going through and my half pick of Mutta being the one as well, I still feel all right. I don't think anyone made the strongest of predictions moving into this one, but so far, at least in this map, it turns out that it could be the finale. And with Mutta looking as crazy good as he is on this map, he's looking to be one of those more so shoo-ins. As this to me, Orion, looks like a lead that can't be beaten.
Yeah, Mudder looks to be a lot more dominant on this map. I would say this map maybe is kind of slightly more reliant on turnovers and, things like that than, like threading the needle and speed checks, transitions, clips, etc. So maybe that makes it the slightly easier of the three maps, which means Mudder is kind of, has a slightly higher ceiling on it compared to the other two if he's not that well trained. But yeah, looks absolutely dominant over the other players on this one. Does now have a lead of 12 points, which is, I think, the biggest gap between first and second that we've seen throughout the match so far.
And on the other side of things, I'm just thinking about it. Erkish, this would have to be a map where you need to break out and start taking a lead. The gap was closed from 15 points to 10 in terms of how far back they were from last place to first. But if you fall just even a little bit behind on this map 3, you're not looking to be the one on pace to make it out of this group, and you will be facing elimination. So to see Erkish be ahead of the rest of the competitors is a good sign. Will it hold, though, for the rest as Mudda just nearly cements themselves as the first place runner of this track? And Erkish confirms second, a good couple tenths away from Sully and several tenths away from Luke Fast.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a clip somewhere for Luke Fast, but was still able to make it through the speed checks and get to the finish, which is worth a lot here. It's 3 points for a fourth place compared to that DNF, which gets you absolutely nothing. So that puts him on 59 points with Sully, but it has been 3 perfect rounds in a row from Mudda now. 30 points out of a possible 30 gained and a 19-point lead over Sully and Luke Fast in first and second. Erkish in 51 is now within touching distance of that second place in qualifying. Luke Fast flying out of the loop there is going to be playing no further part in this round. That is going to be a DNF for him as Mudda once again into the lead of a round. Why do we have a doubt in Pyro? Why were we doubting this guy? Huh?
So that he could cast those doubts aside with a performance like this. It's our job to make it more interesting, the ascendancy that Mudda has had. I mean, he's leaving just, I want to say no room, yet Sully almost making this interesting. No, yeah, you're right. Why are there doubts in the first place? Our first sweep in this group competition will go to Mudda in map number 3. What's that lead looking like? I think it is 65 to 88. That's going to be 23. Couple maps from that finalist position here, Orion.
Yeah, and based on time attack only, that is Mudda's best map on paper. He's currently 11th overall with a 58.987 and was driving within 0.3 of his PB every round there. So that seems like Mudda's strongest one. And maybe we get back to it. Maybe. I would have to say, I can't remember the name of the second map we played. Maybe you can help me. But that was the map for Sully, especially. So it kind of seems like, yes, I think Sully kind of has his map where he's like, yep, this is me. I'm in first place here. Like, you're not going to take this one away from me. Mudda's now had his turn, and maybe that's kind of what gets them through. The fact that they are so dominant on a map each might be able to just kind of push them through into qualification for the next round.
It really puts some weight on how that map selection goes and which one ends up being the first, second, or third. I think Mudda, I don't know if we do get to that third map again. So the fact that his best map is that map number 3 may bite him later on, but at a certain point, it's just going to be the win that they need. Mudda, in this instance, being a second and a half behind, seems to be pulling up the 3 points, would need a win in the next one to be on that finalist position. But in the meantime, that is Luke Fast just barely trailing Erkish as we return to the first map. Sully in distance, but there's the pass and the lead nearly secured for Luke Fast. The finish secures it. Luke Fast getting back on their horse after a tough map 3.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Fast was, I think, tied on points with Mudder when we played this map the first time, and Sully and Erikish only had 15 points between them. So here we go. The match flipping on its head once more. Luke Fast gets the victory there, and or was it? Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember. But this was definitely the stronger map for the Italian, right, Pyro? So once again, the pendulum changes direction.
Yes. Yeah, I think it went Luke Fast, then Sully, then Mutta. So Luke Fast returning to a solid map here, but it seems as if Mutta is keen to get that qualification point. Needs that first place to get on the finalist position, and challenging Erikish quite well here as we get through that checkpoint. Finish nearing sight soon. A devastating mistake there. Or Mutta will have to wait another race for that finalist position. Luke Fast ending again for first place. And what a switch of events there in the late game to favor Luke Fast and everyone else.
Yeah, I'm going to need some confirmation on points limit, because I'm not sure that this is the lower quarterfinals. For me, this is saying lower round 2, which makes me think it's 100 points, not 120. Oh, it's 120. Okay, it's 120. All right, I'm completely wrong. We keep going. We have at least 3 more rounds before Mudley gets to finalist then.
That's my mistake then. Apologies for that.
Oh,
Up to 120.
All good.
We've still got to go. We've still got a ways to go, it is. And you mentioned earlier in the competition, Orion, those DNFs can hurt so much because 3 points couldn't have been instrumental to just keep that lead as alive as it could be. But staying on 91 is tough. You can start to see the competition narrowing.
100%. We have Sully in the lead of this one. Erikish just behind Mudder, trying to build that speed up, and look at the speed that he's pulling over Luke Fast. Never mind, the next transition turns it round completely. Is there going to be any snipes at the finish here? Erikish looks like he has a decent amount of speed. Can he get the car in front? It's going to be close as we go to the finish, and it is 13 thousandths across the line. Luke Fast only 0.09 behind Mudder, trailing by just 2 tenths, or a massive 2 tenths, Pyro. He was 2 tenths behind. Can you believe that?
I can. The way that this lobby has gone, I believe it. Sully trying to get the momentum here, rolling into a map they certainly prefer, which will be next after this round. But the win really seems up for grabs on this map now that players are finding their flow state. Look how close it is for the lead. Sully not allowing Mutta to run away with it quite yet.
Definitely not. Mudder onto the dirt earlier. Should get a little bit more speed there. In fact, it's actually Sully that has the better exit. Drops down slightly higher onto that transition. Mudder is trying his best to stay in the lead. Different line there from Erikish, and he does have a speed advantage over Luke. Does he have the speed over Sully, who goes slightly wide there? Yes, he does. How much speed can Luke carry here? Gets into second place, and Sully all the way down to 4th. Speed slide as he might. He's not going to get those positions back. Mudder into the finish first there, gets that 10 points secured, and Sully does get into the finish eventually. I thought he had had a come a cropper there, but just the leaderboard taking a bit of time to update, and that is another 4 rounds done, and we do move back onto a map where we said it before, we'd be coming back here, and it did look like it was Sully's territory. So can we see the Irishman overcome the Aussie and get onto a potential finalist, or just take the lead in the match here?
Listen, I know I was going on and on about Mutta going to be on that finalist position with that map, but they are getting closer and closer. And I think if for just a moment you honestly forget about the maps, Mutta just has some momentum here. Wasn't as impressive as we looked at the start of the game, but coming back onto the map 1, getting some wins under their belt, it's looking sure and more sure that Mutta may end up on top here.
Here we go then. This is our 5th map that we've seen so far. Mutta sat on 104 points and would be able to get onto finalists with a first and second place back-to-back. I think we've already lost one player. Was there maybe a clip there from Luke Fast? We'll have to see as we go through the next couple of checkpoints. But Mudder, the closest to that 120-point finalist limit. Sully looked to be supreme on this map before. Almost went 4 for 4. Was only about 100 meters away from doing so, but crashed on the final turn. That's a clip from Erikish, who should still be able to complete the map, but is going to be falling by the wayside. Mudder now reeling in Sully on a map that previously Sully looked to be dominant on, but Mudder does move into the lead. Can he hold on to it? Sully and Mudder, ghosts inseparable as we go into the closing stages of this map. It's the final straight to the finish. Sully maybe has more speed with the speed slide, but Mudder with the more direct line does get into that finish first with a 54-3.
I'm telling you, momentum is a dangerous thing, and Mudder has got it there. No doubt about it. We are getting into the interesting point of the competition here, as I believe around a first or a second from Mudder puts them in finalist position.
Yep, that is correct. Second place would be finalist for Mudder, but it's going to start at the back of the field in this round, as it is... Actually, I say at the back of the field, they're all next to each other, and now Mudder's in first place. Crazy equal start for all four players, but now they do start to separate and string themselves out a bit, and it is the Australian into first place. Sully bringing up the rear, but definitely has more speed going through the transition there. Erikish seems a little bit too far ahead, but it does look like this is the round that Mudder will be going on to finalist. Erikish looks like he has a decent amount of speed, but we are nearing the closing stage of the map, and I don't think it's going to be enough, although I could be proved wrong, and I am proved wrong. The speed advantage from the Norwegian sniping Mudder on the line. It's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, as he does still get onto that finalist mode, but that is huge for Erikish, who gets onto 91 points, overtakes Luke Fast, and is only within 7 points of Sully now. So second place is all to play for, Pyro.
Yeah, Erikish said, hold on. You don't need first place. Give me that by 100th of a second. What a heck of a comeback performance there towards the end. And now Sully wants to get back to business, back to how the first rendition of this map went when they held the lead, nearly sweeping if it wasn't for that final mistake. But oh, how things have changed. Mudder, you see the red title on the finalist position, wants to be the one to qual, had a devastating performance in the upper bracket, and has the ability to turn it around completely. Looks like the competitor, the one that could stop them, is Sully, who is coming in with a heck of a speed. Mudder was overtaken on the last one, but on this will confirm their spot in first place, the first in this lower bracket round 2 to qualify.
Mudder qualifies, but Sully was reeling him in. You could see the speed advantage, but I think just got a little bit too much airtime as they raced towards that finish line, and Mudder was able to hold on, but now it is second place to be decided. Sully on 104 points with that second place there in the round. Luke Fast on 94, and Erikish with that DNF in the previous round stays on 91 points, but it is far from over, Pyro. These three competitors, any one of them could make it. We could even see a triple finalist here with how things have gone. It's anyone's game.
Oh, for the entertainment value, triple finalists, please. But if you look at the mind of Sully, you're hoping, no, that's the last thing they want. And what they really want in this competition here is a second or a first. If they share those placements in the next two races, they'll be on the finalist position. And oh, the late map speed that Sully continues to have here.
God damn.
It's hardly a competition, but now look at the distance they have against Luke Fast and Erikish. A 54-5 there to finish, and that is it. Very close to the finalists they will be moving into our next map.
Yeah, it just looked like Sully had a better line there, just reduced airtime and carried the speed through. So despite lagging in the first half of the map, was able to overcome a deficit of just over a tenth and turn it into a lead of just under 2. So Sully again showing once Mudder was out of the picture that, hey, this is my map. I'm going to dominate here. And we go onto a map now that Mudder was dominant previously, and because of that, I'm not really recollecting that well how the other players stacked up. Can you remember? We just focused on Mudder the whole time. It was like, damn, this guy's good, right?
Yeah, he still stole the show, had the spotlight, certainly. Something tells me that Erikish did a better job competing against the top of the competition in this final map than compared to others. But I don't think by a margin that keeps anyone out of this. It's going to have, so it's going to have to be the best of the competition that these guys see. DNF is almost not in the cards for anybody. You need points on the board here to get that finalist position as quickly as you can. And for at least this round here, Luke Fast, Erikish, you guys are on the same team. Keep Sully off of finalist position if you could top 2.
Starting out, and all players separated by literally thousands as we go through the first couple of transitions and turnovers. See who gets the most speed out of here. Is Sully with the better exit out of that transition there. Luke just behind, but Sully continues to open the gap. Erikish with a DNF in this round, so it is just going to be between the Irishman and the Italian to get those 10 points. Sully is currently on 114, so would only need to finish second, and with Erikish out of the picture, will be going on to finalist this round no matter what now, unless there is a crash from the Irish player themselves. And obviously wants to try and do that with that 10-pointer to deny his competitors as many points as possible. Sully goes on to finalist, and nearest challenger Luke Fast on 106 will have to win 2 rounds in a row to go on to finalist and deny Sully in the process. I think it's still everything to play for. So I'm not surprised to see Sully on finalist here, but there's still so much to be determined. It's not over yet, Pyro.
There's a lot of expectation to work against if you are Luke Fast and Erikish, at least from the panel's perspective. And with Erikish DNFing that last round, anything is on the table. I completely agree. And take a look at the start of this one. Erikish and Luke Fast extending well past Sully. Again, with that 3-second difference, there was some kind of wall brush, something that put them behind the mark. So we will at least, it seems, see another race. Erikish, though, after that DNF, certainly wants that first place to try to close the gap. Deny that of Luke Fast. And look at this lead just extending further and further. It seems that will be the case. One of the very few races where I think the placements are done and told well before the finish line, as Erikish goes from 0 to hero between rounds 1 and 2.
And Luke Fast will just need a round victory here and to deny Sully once again, who did make a mistake by himself in that round and was not able to convert that match point at the first time of asking. As we go on board with Sully here, looking for a clean round to try and overtake both of his competitors. Starts out on the downhill. I think he was a little bit further behind, but it seems like that alternate line carries more speed, and yes, it does. The gap already starting to open up through the first couple of checkpoints. It's half a tenth through this one. What is it going to be through the next checkpoint? Oh, exactly the same, I guess.
Neck and neck.
There we go.
Yeah, it's extending a little
close.
bit.
It's super close, Pyro.
It is. If you're Sully, you're happy to see that number increase just a bit, about 100th every single checkpoint. You're racing just a tiny bit faster than your competition, and that's the best way to describe full speed. A tiny bit faster is all you need, at least to catch up and surpass your competition. Erikish taking the lead in the final couple of turns, and on the final leap will stop Sully from qualification. We'll go another round.
Man, must have been just one good transition or an absolutely perfect speed slide from Erikish, and he keeps himself in it. Luke and Erikish both within touching distance. If I think Erikish would need to finish first or second, and Sully third, puts us on triple finalist. Sully has had 2 match points now, 2 chances to get into that second place, lock it in, get into the next round of lowers. But Luke and Erikish both stepping up, trying to deny the Irishman, get onto finalists themselves and get themselves through. Luke dropping back slightly in this round, but it is still a very close race between Erikish and Sully. Here we go on board with Sully. Speed exactly equal as we go through the transitions. I feel like that's what's going to decide it. Erikish had a better end to the round previously. Is it going to be the same story this time? Oh, slightly wide there from Sully. It's going to be a better exit for Erikish. You see the speed coming through once again. I don't think there's going to be that much chance to gain now as we go into the turnover, onto the dirt. Erikish into the finish line, onto triple finalist. Here we go, Pyro. We said it could happen, and it has. And we go back to our second map in the rotation. I did not think we would be seeing this map again.
Yeah, so this is now we're headed to map 1 for the third time. And for us, we were saying, oh, maybe we'll see map 3 a second time. I don't know. Well, we're going all the way around here. So players are going to get a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather before we get into this triple finalist position, which, I mean, this reminds me of phrases like icing the kicker, calling a timeout at any point of a sport. It doesn't usually bode well for the competitors that are under so much pressure here, Orion.
Yep. One more round to decide who goes through and who will be taking no further part in the bracket. I'm gonna say the question again: stick or twist, Pyro? Who you got?
Oh, stick, Sully. I'm staying. I was right about Erikish being that best competitor on that map number 3, but how can I turn now, Orion?
I mean, I'm gonna stick as well. I'm gonna say that it's Erikish going through because I've got to stick with at least one of my picks, right? You know, Mudder's gone through. I didn't think that he would make it. I thought the Norwegian would go through, but it doesn't look like it's playing out how I would have wanted to start things off. It is the Italian Luke Fast into the lead, but all 3 players separated by less than a tenth as we go through the checkpoints. Sully has dropped back a little bit, so it does seem to be a battle between the Norwegian and the Italian, but we still have so much left to go. So many points, stumbling blocks that we could hit. It is Erikish into a lead though, and we are in the latter stages of the map. Luke Fast with a bit of a bump there, and Sully too far behind to make an impact. Although Luke Fast, here he comes. He's got the speed. He's got the overtake done. Can he get it into the finish? Yes, he can. Luke Fast, the Italian, from 4th place in the match, makes it all the way back to finalist and qualifies for the next round.
Well, did we pick the right group or what? Triple finalist finishing with Luke Fast along with Mata. Moving on. I know I can't wait to talk to Randomize very shortly because I know he's celebrating. He said that was his upset pick, but Orion, cheers to you as well, who said, hold on, let's bring some legitimacy to this name. The Italian has what it takes to win. But boy, did they need to pull it off. They had to stop Sully how many times? I want to say at least 3, maybe 4.
I think it was 4 or 5, to be honest. I think they stopped him 3 times and one on the 4th. But we have hopped into another match here where equally this match has reached a crescendo. We have Rist, the Polish player, qualified already, but we have Sinus Apple on finalist and Chroma, the German, on finalist as well, and also another Dutch player, Alsenbors, on 117 points. Chroma in the lead at the moment, but if Alsenbors can get in front, we would be on another triple finalist, Pyro. What a treat that would be.
It would, but double finalist feels like it's everything that it's made to be already. Chroma, the chance to eliminate 2 Dutch players, and with this lead of under a tenth of a second, could very well do it. Alsenbors sticking near, not giving the win lightly. May have some speed to do it. Takes the narrow angle, but it's not enough. Chroma is the next to qualify along with Rist. And folks, that is another lower bracket match. So 2 more eliminations that we just witnessed. Devastating as it gets to this point of double elim.
Yep, and I think that is the Dutch representation in full speed out of the tournament with that, but Chroma does make it through. So I believe all three German players are still alive. 2 in the upper bracket, 1
Yes.
in the lower bracket. But I guess we can probably bring our 2 panelists back in to digest the game that we watched the most of their randomize. How was that for you? Because none of us predicted it correctly.
I mean, don't ever count out the dark horse, man. Like, just it's how it be. I expected some good match out of that one, and we got something way better than I was expecting. But yeah, Luke Fast making it in through the second position through that. Amada scared us a little bit through the tournament, but it seems that one thing we can't count out is even though Mutta has not been able to train as much as he would like to through his matches, there is the factor that he is now playing these maps and he's been playing them a bunch, so that allows him to learn. And when you're a pro at something, you kind of learn at like a tenfold speed faster than everyone else. And I'm not talking about just being full speed, but yeah, no, the fact that Mutta was able to pretty much handle the competition quite well, shows there's a little bit of that experience gameplay that comes into it, Orion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mutta is it's definitely top 8 in the world, I would say, in Trackmania, if you kind of look across all of the disciplines. And will probably be competing in the trial event as well. I know he's quite prolific for his battle with Lars on all of the World of Wampus maps by Lentillion, so I'm expecting to see Mutta be quite high up the trial leaderboard as well. And reminder, that map has released this evening. So yeah, Mutta taking part across a range of different disciplines, but like you said, he's a professional for a reason, and that was a truly a pro's performance there. Maybe he hasn't trained the maps that much beforehand, but like you said, playing the maps and kind of like, oh damn, that's faster, but doing it in a round, it just screams class, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly that. And speaking of pros, we are going to be wrapping up full speed for tonight. The rest of it is going to be happening next week. Pyro, I kind of want to look ahead and kind of look at what's to come. We have 2 matches in the semifinal that's going to be happening, and some pros are not quite in a match together yet. Della Luna, she's up in the first match, and we have Josh in the second match. I mean, what do you think we have to look forward to next week?
Definitely 2 of the benchmark performers. If once you get to the upper semifinals, you're ending up in that match amongst the best. So you just have to take that pill and swallow it, really. But what I'm most curious about with that upper semifinals matchups is the one with Della Luna, because you're looking at a match where you kind of expect Della Luna to take that win, but who comes in second? Like, is it copium for us from America to say that Lemonade could take that spot?
Yes.
Hey. It's not our fault that we don't have Josh in our country. All right, Orion, it's not your time to talk. Pyro, please continue. Thank you.
Well, that potential rhetorical question was pretty much all I had. So, Orion, you were free to bury that 6 feet deep if you'd like.
I mean, they're playing Acid Gurkha, who is like could win, honestly. So yeah, I'm shutting you down there, Pyro. I know. You gotta back the countryman. You gotta lean into the narrative. But I'm a realist. I've seen what Acid Gurkha was doing today. I don't think there's many players that could beat him. Maybe potentially could even win that match over Della Luna.
Guys, we know the reason why he's happy to be as unbiased as a caster is because he has 2 Great Britain players in the other match. He has Josh and Moose, and the fact that they're both in the upper bracket, so he doesn't have to worry about losing anyone else. Well, unfortunately, we've already lost one of our Americans, and now,
Wait,
I mean,
2?
yeah, one of them is gone, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah, we did have 2, but unfortunately, one is gone. But we still have Lemonade. I mean, the nice thing is, Legion, is that we still have the lower bracket for our fellow American to fall into if that was to happen to Lemonade.
I don't think it'll happen. Am I huffing the copium? Maybe a little bit, just a spit. I like how it tastes. That's why I'm doing it. So no other. But no, I think Lemonade has a really good chance. I mean, he's going up against what was that? Della Luna, Acid, and Zim. Yeah, that's the looks of it.
Yeah, Zim.
I mean, Della Luna. Yeah, I think we'll go through. I don't have any doubts there. I'm gonna just hard cope and say that Lemonade makes it interesting for Acid. I don't think that Acid will be, maybe it's a walk away win. I think if somebody's gonna give him a hard time, I would say Lemonade. And hopefully, of course, I do hope Lemonade goes through to the next round. But then looking at that other semifinal match, realistically, I would have to say Krill or Kuril is probably going to go through. I would give him the edge. And then between Moose and Josh, I would have to go. I'd lean more towards Josh. He's shown to be, I would say, probably the best full speed player for Great Britain here in this competition. So he finished first in his seeding. He has the second overall time in that with a 22:44. Della Luna only has a 22:43, and then Acid has a 22:45. So that other upper match is kind of where all the spice is. But I think Josh and Kirill from that second semifinal, and then Della Luna and Lemonade from that first one.
Honestly, the fact that you even question Josh is a scary moment right there.
I know.
There's
Have you ever not heard of like theatrics, little drama? God.
okay. I get the whole like earlier. I was like, yeah, vote for the dark horse. Ha ha. You
Yeah.
know, you're gonna look cool when you get it right. But like,
Yeah.
there's some people you just don't care.
I know. Fun. God forbid a man have fun. Sorry, I'm not allowed. I didn't realize this. Mr. Professional. Like, shut up.
All right. Listen, you want to have fun? Let's have fun. Let's look at the lower
right.
bracket for next week, and let's kind of go over what's going to be happening down there. I mean, Mutta still alive, just running down through the lower bracket, but he has some competition down there. Legion, do you think we'll find a dark horse, or do you think Rist and Mutta are going to run through that match?
I would have to say it is Rist and Mutta. Mario and Head haven't really shown to be the most dangerous of players. I think they might take a round or two off of both of them, but I don't think we're gonna be in a situation where Mutta and Rist are consistently in the back. So I think the Aussie and the Pole will go through, and then looking down second match, that one is a bit harder. I'll say Timebreaker for the storyline, and then probably Luke Fast.
Yeah, I think that's a fair one. Pyro, I mean, you and I have kind of been rooting on for Timebreaker and hoping for the best. So like, do you agree? Do you think Pyro? Excuse me. Do you think Pyro will win?
This is the round I'm having the hardest time with right now because I was, first of all, so impressed by what I just saw, the clutch factor from Luke Fast on that elimination round. Lawrence has been very impressive in this competition. Timebreaker I've been rooting for, just carrying that solo flag of North Macedonia. But how are we rooting out Chroma? Like, I don't know that I can sit here and say that Chroma's not moving to the next round. So I don't have a prediction. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm not doing my job. You just have to accept that.
I mean, hey, Pyro, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. Unfortunately, we did get an announcement that Lord will not be able to play next weekend. So that's already one person out. It's a little unfortunate because Lords has really shown some good full speed, and it is just one of those things where sometimes schedules get in the way. That's the hard part about it. We are playing multiple disciplines here in Trackmania games, so it's just one of those things. But so at least for you, Orion, it's a little bit easier looking at 3 players we have to decide.
Yeah, unless one of the players from that match that came in third is promoted up, which I believe would be Dave of Czechia.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I guess if you want my picks, I agree with the others. I think Mutta and Rist make it through. Mutta, with another week to train on these maps, is going to look even scarier than what we've just seen him. If he does actually train these maps, if he's not preoccupied with other things and trying to set the best time on that trial map, which, by the way, the author time in game. Apparently the actual author time is a secret, but the author time in game is 1 hour and 20 minutes. So each run on that is going to take you some time. From that second semi-final, second semi-final, I think in the same vein, Chroma has obviously stepped in at short notice, and you give him a week to train these maps, and all of a sudden we talk about Chroma completely differently. So I think I would lock in Chroma there, and yeah, I would say Luke Fast as well. I think has been maybe the more impressive player than Timebreaker so far, who looked a little bit crash prone on some of these maps. Maybe a week more of training might make a difference, but I think I would stick with the Italian there to go through.
I think that's a fair call. You know, it's one of those harder ones where we try to really figure out who can win, because again, there's multiple disciplines. I mean, Mutta has to also be paying attention to RPG, and that's also going to be happening throughout the course soon. So it's one of those, like, if he qualifies in RPG and he makes it through, and he has to play 2 different disciplines, you know, over the course of a week. What do you focus on? It's one of those hard moments, because these maps, you know, I've heard a lot of feedback on all the courses of the maps, and you go to something like the mix maps, and a lot of people said, they're not too hard. They have some weird moments here and there, but generally they're not the hardest maps they've competed on. And then we look at like the RPG maps, and I'll be fine to say that I struggled in the first map. I like playing RPG maps, and even I was just like, where am I going? Like, am I doing Pathfinder or RPG? And then, yes, it's one of those things where we kind of have to look at how do you, I mean, Pyro, if you didn't have a day job and you had multiple hours to train, like, what would you focus on? Your best or your worst?
My best. Because like for Trackmania games, it is about representing your country, and, you know, do I want to be a little bit ahead of the middle of the pack, or do I want an opportunity for, in my best discipline, to get that gold medal? I'm going for the gold medal. So that's what I'm putting my time into. I'm not saying every player is going to have that philosophy, but I can definitely empathize with that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And again, I mentioned not working and just being able to fully focus on these. There's still the fact that people have studies and people have to be adults. You know, do we want to be? I don't know, but you know, would we all love to just sit down and play games all day? Heck yeah! But unfortunately, you know, I'm 33 now, so I don't even know how old I am anymore. But yeah, being 33, I don't get to do that anymore. So it's just one of those things that some people get that benefit, some people don't. It's a, you know, Legion, you're a busy guy. Like, constantly, every time I talk to you, I can't catch you until we're here on production. Do you really think that there's going to be that advantage of one more week of training?
Absolutely. And I think another thing to mention with the practicing is that what some people do is they just go in and they just do it for like 2 hours straight, 2-3 hours, just keep practicing. But there is actually a science in limiting yourself to practicing a certain amount. One example that I like to use for me personally is I've gotten back into sim racing. So when I'm learning a track, I will spend maybe 45 minutes, an hour, maybe on that first day, and then go to bed, let it marinate. I might play the next day. I might not. I might actually play the day after. But I tend to do better, because you don't want to sort of overload yourself with too much practice, because then it just sort of comes to, I guess, khaki, where you're just hitting your head into a wall over and over again. So while, yes, there are probably some people in this competition that don't have to worry about any responsibilities outside of playing these maps, I do think that there is going to be a factor in who is actually just no-lifing and those who are pacing themselves as they are practicing. So I think in a week, I agree with what Orion said, that we might see Chroma actually be a threat here. Having that extra week, he did make it far enough, of course, to meet that cutoff. But yeah, I think depending on how people practice, and maybe they do a little replay analysis or something, I think we'll see wildly different storylines come next week. That's
fair. I mean, I understand definitely what you were saying. Like, you like to marinate on it and then run off with it, and the next day possibly. And then you have people like Epos, who constantly says that he has like 20 plus hours on almost every freaking map he's ever played in his life. So I guess it's one of those things that we will find out definitely for next week when it comes to full speed and all the other disciplines that still have to be done. But we're not done yet with TM Games. We still have a little bit left tonight, as well as all of tomorrow. So folks, now's your chance. One more time, a little bit of a stretch. We might have a little bit of an extended break here, and then we'll be back with more Trackmania games after this break. I'm here. I'm paying attention. I'm not playing the trial map. I swear to God, before anyone tries to call me out again. And speaking of the trial map, just as a reminder to everyone that the trial map is open and available in the TM Games Club. Get in there, play trial map, represent your country, because it is all... It's open to everyone. You are able to try and represent. Again, trial is probably the hardest thing you can ever do in Trackmania, followed by trying to learn how to do full speed. So good luck with all of that. But again, it is a top 32 players that will be getting points and scoring for their country. Very important. And of course, make sure you are clipping away, because there are still some matches happening on right now in Fastlearn. Unfortunately, we will not be showing any of those matches, just due to the fact that it's a little bit more of a harder thing to cover for us. You know, we don't get servers to just hop in and watch, so it's just going to be one of those things where we need your help so that we don't miss anything. We need you to go around and clip away. There are still some matches going on. Of course, the man we all know and love, Virtual, is streaming his match. We do have some American matches happening, so just a quick little plug-in for that one, but there are still matches going on. The bracket is available. Again, you can go to tmgames.gear5.org and check out all of the calendar, as well as all the matches that are happening and will happen. You can follow along on the brackets there, or of course go and do your pick'ems over at Trackmania, where the bracket is also shown there, and you can check and see if you are correctly picking people or you are failing horribly like us here on on the desk and not doing as well.
I just don't play, then I always win.
Exactly. You can't lose if you're not in
You never
the game,
play.
right?
Correct.
Well, speaking of people winning and losing, we do have a little bit of a wrap up to talk about. We just finished up full speed. Might as well talk about it real quick. We have a few matches to look forward to next week. Again, we did mention it earlier, so we're not going to go into it too much. But again, in the upper bracket, we do have two matches going on. Della Luna, Acid, Zim, and Lemonade will be playing in one match. Josh, Kirill, Meek, and Moose. Sorry, I am blind today. They are playing in the upper brackets, and we have already spoken about the lower brackets with, surprisingly, Mudda down there with Wrist, Mario, and Hege. And then the other match is, unfortunately, we are going to be losing Larids. So again, reminder, he will not be there next week. Timebreaker, who is currently representing by himself for his country. And then Luke and Chroma, another player that we were surprised, being in there. But let's do a little recap over in the mix side. We do have some teams to be looking forward to, as well as surprised to see. We do have one match that I definitely want to mention, and that is Germany 2 versus Canada 1, Orion. The multi-world time champion himself still surviving in the upper bracket.
Yep, that is Carl Jr. for the unfamiliar, and his teammate Lingo, who has also been putting in an insane performance, was, I believe, at least top 16 as well in the mixed solo event. So putting in a great performance there. But going up against, is it Germany 2, you said, which is Grenadi and Massa of the Big Clan Gaming organization, and who both were top 8 in the mixed solo last week. So that is going to be an incredible match. But we have incredible matches across all of our upper bracket quarterfinals. We have 8 teams left in the mixed duos from today, after we whittled it down to our top 16. Germany 1 versus Great Britain 1 is going to be insane as well. That is New Prime and Letzter going up against Pack and Josh. We also have Great Britain 2 versus France 1. That is Epos and Bosbez, who were first and second in the mixed solos, going up against Otak and Binks. And then finally, we have Norway and Switzerland in a match, which is Afi and Thomas Jean versus Andy Baguette and Sinks. So that's an insane match as well. The mixed duos next week is going to be absolutely unreal. That is going to be on the closing day of the Trackmania games, and the grand final will be the last match played of the entire tournament, and that is going to be an absolute blinder.
Yeah, that is literally we are starting and ending with the mixed duos on Sunday. So that is one good day of Trackmania that you cannot miss whatsoever. I mean, hi TMWT again with all of these duos. These are some of them are familiar duos, some of them are not. Unfortunately, Pac and Carl Jr. will not be playing together, but I'm sure they are actually perfectly on opposite sides of the bracket. So there's no way in heck we would see them play until the grand finals unless they both magically fall down into the lower bracket, and we'll see them play a little bit earlier. But that is one match I need to see happen. I would love to watch Carl Jr. take on his teammate Pac. I think it'd be hilarious to even. I wish we had listenings. Can you imagine? The animosity that would happen with them there in the listings. But yeah, so that is going to be, again, something for next week. Currently, what's happening right now is the Fast Learn as well. Again, once again, I apologize for anyone that did want to watch it here. Again, there's still plenty of streams that are happening with the Fast Learns. And Pyro, USA, still in there. I don't care if they're in the lower bracket. We're still in there.
They're there. They're present. They just get swept by Sweden, but they are there. Sweden, one of the few undefeated runs in terms of not dropping any points against their competition, that being Hungary and the United States, but Sweden playing up against Belgium in the Fast Learn of that upper quarters. We also have Norway, Germany, Netherlands, Poland, and Czechia, Great Britain, except Orion, close your ears. Czechia did win that competition, so join us in the lower bracket, Orion. It's nice, cozy, and comfortable. Some really fun action going on.
What are you doing?
What's that?
Better. We need to win.
Listen, it's easier said than done, that's for sure. But
that's why I'm not playing.
Fast Learn, a lot of excitement happening there, and as we know, we will see more of that fast learning next weekend. That's going to be occurring on Saturday, February 7th. So a lot of the action that we saw today will still be going on. Next weekend, there will be more opportunities.
Listen, Orion. Okay.
I'm listening.
You still have a lot of Great Britain people and teams in. Okay. I watched the pain of USA having to have a civil war as a first round in mixed duos, and then once again have a civil war in the lower bracket. Okay, one team USA really won with Neil and Cagney, lost against USA 2, which is Nix and Flimsy, only to see each other again in the lower bracket, and then flip-flop with Neil and Cagney winning, knocking out USA, to then just throw away a match. Should have been ours.
I mean, Finland is just the superior country. You've got to admit it.
Oh my god, if you were in the call, I hopped in at the worst time too. It was, oh my god, I was laughing. Obviously, I'm not happy that America's out, but I was too busy having a good time, and then afterwards I was just like, hey, here's some fuel for the fire. What's wrong, Red Fox? It sucks that it went that way, but my god, it was still the fact that both USA mixed duos faced off twice. Have we ever had any other countries with multiple teams do that, or is it just the US?
I
think it's
scanning the bracket. I think it's just the US as well.
I think it was just us.
We're just that good. We're just that good.
Good
we
is
take each other out.
Good, is a question mark. I mean, it's just typical US fashion, folks. You are getting to see what it's like to be in this country. Where
it's great.
Yeah, we all scream USA, USA until we verse each other. And like, I mean, there's a
Yeah, I
reason
mean,
why
have you-
we have the Civil War for a reason in our history.
I mean, hell, look at any time Randomize and I are on like a casting booth or whatever together, or a panel. Like, I mean, if you guys remember last year's XP Evo on the Bees stream, I mean, Randomize and I, when we were on, that was something.
People thought
So-
we hated each other.
I know. I love this
Is
guy.
it
I'd like to
that
say, for
bad?
the record, I
God.
love Randomize. I respect him. He's a great
Yeah.
friend, awesome dude. But yeah, that year it was because I remember we had finished up and you leaned over and you're like, I think people think we hate each other. And I was like, yeah, I get that.
Straight out. I mean, there's been a lot of talks in the green room about whether it feels like the angel and the devil. Of course, it's perfect that Legion and I are across from each other. And
Yeah.
I'm claiming the devil role only because of the New Jersey Devils. I mean,
Yep.
I think our producer had something ready and then I never
Yep.
used it and I apologize, but he had something
will
for me. I don't remember
will
what it
take the
was.
angel.
Yeah,
I'll take
you're
the
gonna
angel because we have Tom Brady, so that's all that matters.
more
That's
the
right.
reason why you should actually be the devil. Oh, there I am.
Oh, there he is.
You know, like
Oh God, no, it's the devil. This is
It's
what
the
happens when you go to
devil.
New Jersey.
We
Get me away from this guy.
The devil,
Come
the devil
here!
actually went,
Where
the
did I
devil
go?
went down to New Jersey. He did not go down to Georgia. He got lost in New Jersey and just decided to pitch a tent.
Well, apparently, I thought that Mexico was up in Massachusetts
That's
earlier.
true.
so-
You did. You're like, yeah, you have this chain restaurant up in Mexico. I'm like, up in where? He's like, no, not quite.
It's been a long day. I mean, Pyro's been so quiet. I feel so bad.
Hey, Pyro, how you doing over there, buddy? You still
know
alive?
what? If it's the angel and the
Alright,
devil on two sides, I'm just somewhere stuck in purgatory. You guys keep it.
I'm right here. I'm right next to you, bro. I'm like, hi, how you doing? Do the right thing. It's not that hard.
Please, Red, save us, please.
Yes, yes. I think it's time to talk
think it's
about
time we
what is
got-
to
Yes.
what is to come. Let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow,
Oh, Jesus.
it's going to be Tech Solo, RPG Knockout, and the Ice Duos. They have all been waiting to come back to these maps and do some work in Tech Solo and Ice Duo. And then we finally get to see the RPG knockouts. We get to see the monstrosity and the beauty of the RPG maps. If you haven't checked them out yourself, please go and check out the amazing work that went into, I mean, all the maps were amazing, but the artwork that went into the RPGs. You actually can even play a little storyline in some of these maps. You can find the key and find the correct door to escape this cave. I don't remember the words.
That sounded
Close
like an
enough.
episode of Legends of the Hidden Temple there for a second. I got kind of excited. I was like, oh, let's go. Bring it back, baby.
That's what one of the maps should have been. But yes, tomorrow, Tech Solo, we finally get to see what everyone's like on their own and then put them to the test against each other. I'm very excited for that. I'm going to wake up nice and early, 6 a.m. for me. All you Europeans get to start everything right at lunchtime at 12 p.m. Yeah, I will be, my eyes will be red as my camera was for tomorrow's matches. But then again, we get to also finally debut some competition in the RPG maps and then clean up the ice that we are currently freezing in here in America. I don't know about you guys over in Europe, but my car is still frozen in the driveway. So I've been playing with virtual cars instead. It's more fun anyway. But guys, is there anything you are all excited for tomorrow at least? Orion, is there one of the three? Which one are you excited for the most?
Probably the tech for me, to be honest. The tech team tournament the other day was super exciting. It's one of the core pillars of Trackmania, and I think the solo is gonna be equally entertaining as well. So I'm pretty hyped for that. I mean, the RPG as well. I've seen the maps briefly. I saw Virtual do his discoveries on there, but haven't really been looking at the records. So I might dip my toes in there as well for the evening. But that Ice Grand Final is staring at me too. So there's just so much going on tomorrow. Should definitely be here for it, or go and watch your favorite streamer as well. They'll either be covering their country or even playing themselves.
Yeah, true. I mean, Pyro, what are you looking forward to out of these three coming up?
Oh, Ice, no doubt. I love that, US is still in there. They're holding down the lower
USA.
bracket. They've got to fight against Germany too, and Great Britain
my God.
won, and it's not a good situation. But I am a true fan of ice, so I'll be having my eyes glued to that tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's all the casters that we have to talk about. So thank you very much. No, I'm kidding, Legion. I'm sorry. Also, I just really want to point out really quickly. I just want to point one thing out, and I'm going to put it up on your screen right now, and that is predictions for Ice Duo. My friend, do you realize there are 3 out of 4 people up here that are from America? Do you really think we're going to sit here and predict any other country?
We
USA.
could, but that's sacrilegious. It's got to be USA.
No. USA. USA.
Always.
How it is.
Wait,
Legion, though.
Are they
Yes.
lowers or uppers?
They're in lowers.
Oh yeah, they're out.
Facing
They're
off
out.
They are
again.
in the tournament, and that's all
You know
that
who
matters,
else?
Orion.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Okay?
You know who else is in lower bracket, Orion? Great Britain.
Yeah, Great Britain, and they're gonna beat you guys tomorrow.
They're
so
also in the
GG's.
upper bracket, so
Hey, I'm sorry. This
they
lower
both
bracket
teams
is
for another
Germany,
tournament.
U.S.,
They have
Great
2
Britain, and
people.
Poland. Like,
Ooh.
really?
Yeah, we win.
Yeah,
we win.
that's gonna
Easy.
be. No, you're not. You're gonna get clapped by us, and then you're gonna get clapped by everyone else. Sit down. I'm gonna go throw your tea in the harbor again. I'll do it. We've
Oh,
done
don't
it
do that,
before.
man.
We'll do it
It's a
again.
waste of good tea.
Ah,
well,
man.
don't
All
raise my
right.
taxes.
All right. Anyway, Legion, is there anything
Yes.
you are excited for tomorrow?
I'm absolutely ready for ice. I'm excited for that. I do like a little bit of ice. I enjoy it. It's a fun service. It's a little tricky, but I do have to kind of go a little bit against this grain and say RPG, only because looking at the leaderboard right now for the 2 maps that we have, which is Silent Echo and Innomnious, that's a word. The top.
Bless you.
If to get 10 seconds back from first place, which is Raceland, you have to go all the way down to position 36 with Techie. Raceland with a 6:50 and Techie the first person with a 7-minute time. To have 10 seconds split across 36 players on RPG, I think that's a lot closer than some people realize, simply because of the nature of RPG and how it is played. So I'm very excited to see how that's going to go down. But of course, I am also excited for Ice.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I was hoping someone was going to say RPG because I'm ecstatic for it. I love RPG. I think it is one of the funnest ways to play Trackmania, and of course, I'm American. I want to root on for USA, and we do have USA players. We have an Exotica up there in 29th place, so it's good to have him. But Raceland is a beast. A beast.
He is.
At
He
RPG.
really is.
He's sitting first in the map leaderboards. And, you know, it's going to be the one time I finally expand my horizons and cheer on for the ones above for Canada, because Raceland is definitely someone you want to watch tomorrow. He is amazing at RPG maps, and I hope that hypes you all up for some good matches. And again, don't forget, we still have a whole nother weekend of Trackmania games. We will be finishing Tech Solos next weekend. We'll be finishing Full Speed next weekend. We'll be finishing Fast Learn next weekend. And then, of course, we will be debuting and finishing up with mixed teams on next Sunday and the RPG bracket next Sunday. And for all of those that may have forgotten, there was one more category that we have not been talking about at all. And that's something up my alley. That's mapping. We have a mapping competition also happening, trying to find out who has the best mapper in their country, and that is going to be the mapping review on Sunday. And again, for those that don't know, every team has delegated someone, and as you can see on your screen, there are some cool little blocks that are already on the track. And yes, these mappers had to use the TM Games logo as part of their route. It is very important for them to do so, otherwise they will be disqualified, and then we'll be voting on who we think had the best map overall in the mapping review. Some extra points for the countries to nab away as they try and develop the coolest map available to play in TM Games. And of course, I believe they will be up in the clubs once they are available for everyone to play and enjoy and check out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sad that I personally have not been able to be the representative here in America, but we definitely have some good mappers as well. But we are pretty much going to wrap this up, folks. Any last comments from the 3 of you, starting from Orion? Anything you want to finish up with?
I mean, another great day of Trackmania games. We are officially halfway through now. 3 match days done, 3 left to go, but still plenty of action, still plenty of competition. So if you've been tuning in so far or you've tuned in for the first time today, be back here first thing tomorrow. I believe we start at 1 p.m. CET and the same times next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So the competition is only going to heat up even more. Make sure you're watching it either here or go and watch your favorite streamers as well.
Thank you for that one, Orion. Pyro, anything you want to finish off with?
Yeah, I'll be super brief. I really enjoyed mixed solos last weekend. Now diving into full speed. I mean, as more of a casual fan, it is so exciting to watch the best of the best do this, and it's only going to get better. So you got to stay tuned for the next few days that we got planned for you.
And of course, Legion.
Nothing nice. No, it's been a fantastic couple weeks of competition, and I'm ready, like these other guys. I'm ready to see what else we have in store. But thank God we don't have randomized on our mapping team, so we actually have a chance this time around.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know
and
what?
on that note,
On that note. And of course, for me, I'm getting yelled at by production because all of production is European and we're American. It's only 6 p.m. for us, so sucks to suck. But anyway, we got to wrap things up. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Again, don't forget to follow the channel and check out all the community streamers. Clip away so we can broadcast that all here on Trackmania Games. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Randomized. These casters have been fantastic. We're getting out of here and see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. for all of us on the west side, but 12 p.m. for everyone over on the east side. Have a good night.